the few newspapers and our main portal, majonline.com, that we have. Mamavi is all looking bluish, even though the world is covered in red. Mamavi, how are you?
Well, I'm good. I mean, I'm just worried because the numbers it keeps going up with all the measures the countries are putting in place. It's just a bit frustrating, even though I know we can't be frustrated in this process. So there are now more than 1 million confirmed cases of the coronavirus. Nearly 53,000 people have died. And we say it like it's nothing, but these are human beings. 53,000 of them dying. The U.S. has now recorded the world's highest daily toll of 1,169 deaths. And Spain, I mean, you talked about it. So, I mean, it's all a bit gloomy. Hopefully we can bring a bit of light and sunshine in our programming today. So let's do the newspapers. Let's start off with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Daily Graphic. Enterplus donates 1.2 million Ghana cedis to COVID-19 fund. We'll bring you what the front page looks like in a bit. EC relays public elections amendment regulations. Mahama urges Ghanaians to stay at home. So that's the former president also making an appeal. So you all who don't have to be out, stay at home. Controlling COVID-19 spread, wear nose masks, microbiologist advices. Now, this is where we had the World Health Organization also say that they are studying, because this virus is still very much one that we don't know a lot about. So in terms of the mask, there's a biologist, a microbiologist who's advising that people should wear the nose mask. There was also a video going around about a country that says it is controlling this COVID-19 and advising. You find in the clip ministers advising the citizens to wear the nose mask. They wanted to share their story with the rest of the world, and they say that is helping greatly. We're not sure where we are as a country, if that's the way that we're all going to go. But this is also making, there are a lot of people who are now talking about the mask and wear it once you get out of your home. Essentially that. Well, in the center spread of the paper, let's build foundation for resilience and equity. That's Dr. Letitia Pia, the executive director of the National Population Council, making that call. Huawei Technologies lends support to the Ministry of Health. They've also made available some equipment valued at 500,000 Ghana cedis. It's meant to facilitate virtual meetings and communication among health practitioners, both locally and internationally. Public advice to stick to stay-at-home directive. The Chief of Staff at the Presidency has asked people living in areas placed under movement restrictions to strictly observe the directive to help halt the spread of the coronavirus. On the back page, northern, northeast Savannah regions disinfect markets. That exercise was carried live here on Joy News yesterday. Traders not adhering to social distancing protocol at markets. Story says a tour of some markets and bar stations in 3 municipalities in Accra by the Greater Accra Regional Minister yesterday revealed very close interaction among traders and also between traders and buyers in the market. The minister, who undertook the tour to assess the level of traders and drivers' compliance with the restrictions on movement, visited the Nungwa, Teshi, La Scala and La Market, as well as the Nungwa bar station and the Teshi La Scala Market taxi rank, all in the Kro, Lejikuku and La Dadekotopon municipality. Well, at the end of that tour, people are not social distancing in the market. Let's do the Ghanaian Times newspaper on COVID-19. Cases climb to 204. Don't downplay COVID-19 pandemic. Greater Accra Regional Minister warns traders. Still on COVID-19, Ghana deports 27 Togolese. Details on page 13. Parliament passes COVID-19 National Trust Fund. Now, that's Trust Fund Bill 2020 that's been approved under Certificate of Urgency. Will give legal backing to the establishment of the COVID-19 National Trust Fund to complement the efforts of government in the fight against the disease. All right, let's check out what's on the back page of the paper. 2 firefighters injured at Ho. It says 2 personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service stationed at the Ho municipality of the Volta region got injured during a firefighting operation on Wednesday. The two were part of the 32 personnel deployed by the service to fight a fire which had engulfed the Evangelical Assemblies of God Church in Ho Ahoy in the municipality. Oh, that's rather very sad. There was also another fire outbreak in Accra yesterday. U.S. Embassy, the Ghana Armed Forces deploy mobile hospital to combat COVID-19. That's also on the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Let's go back to Roland. He's got the New Crusading Guide newspaper. Roland?
Yeah, and as we move on, we have the front page dominated by a big picture of actor now turned politician John Dumelo. Good morning to you, John Dumelo. It's being headlined John Dumelo Goose, and as UGMC describes his claim as false. And we also do have other stories. Ghana's outbreak response, MGMT updates, and talking about how we tend to give the acronyms rough. There's another one. COVID-19, ICOM Ghana Partners Cocoa Board. It's full of acronyms this morning. 97 or 87.8% of Ghanaians endorse Akufo-Addo's COVID-19 response. CEO of Joy for Fame donate items worth 100,000 to fight coronavirus. Tamale disinfected amid runaway COVID-19 patients. Now residents greet exercise with great joy. And those are all the stories we have on the front page. Now let's go to the insights. There's the last paper. And the insight says COVID-19 fight. Report says 50% of Ghanaians misinformed about the pandemic. And U.S. activates new phase of violence and coup d'etat against Venezuela. The Insight newspaper. All right. Mamavi, any of the sites you want to take a look at? You've been able to review?
I want us to go to myjoyonline.com. Let's do myjoyonline.com. There's also a situation in Togo. You know that Togo has declared a state of emergency. They had a curfew. Now they've got a state of emergency in place. The president made the announcement. He said the state of emergency period will be for 3 months, while the curfew will be in place for an indefinite period. We're getting ready to do myjoyonline.com whilst I run you through some of the events happening around the world. So we were sharing in terms of the global picture some of the details with you. Spain on Thursday reported its highest number of deaths in a single day. That's 950 human beings. The World Health Organization has also urged the Middle East countries to do more to contain the virus spread. And then one of the talking points is also about unemployment in the U.S. Because quite a record high number of 6.6 million have come out. These are figures of unemployment in the U.S. And even that, it is said that the period within which they collected the data, this could even go higher. Let's do myjoyonline.com.
It's frightening.
Do we have myjoyonline.com?
Yeah, we do.
All right. Okay, so 2 coronavirus patients in critical condition, according to the Ghana Health Service. If you look at the website, when they updated the figure as it jumped higher, you'd see that those in critical, because we didn't have any persons in critical conditions, but now we do, and we pray for them. Doctors at Kolebu's accident center threatened to withdraw services over poor coronavirus preparedness. There was one person who tested positive at Kolebu, and those in this particular department had written to the head of the department telling them how unsafe they feel and how unprepared it looks because they don't have the PPEs. COVID-19 cases in Ghana up by 9 to 204. Ghana Water Company rolls out strategic plan to keep taps flowing at critical facilities. NDC condemns alleged manhandling of civilians by security personnel enforcing lockdown. Could Ethiopia provide the cure to the coronavirus pandemic? Is a question you can read on the story. 13-year-old boy create nose mask for rural folks, and this is really, really cool. If you cross over to Liberia, there's a fashion firm that's also doing a similar thing. Only thing is, we can't measure the effectiveness of it, but at least in the face of nothing, if you've got one that's locally made, you can manage with it. I guess that's the whole inspiration. Let's do the rest of the stories on myjoyonline.com. Confirmed global coronavirus cases past 1 million. And then Bishop Titi Ofei withdraws building offer for coronavirus isolation center after protests from neighbors. We didn't even allow the people that the facility had been given to make the assessment and conclude. But he says, in the name of good neighborliness, he has withdrawn the offer. Let's do the BBC. Roland?
Yeah, let's do the BBC. And it has there all the live updates. Malawi reporting its first case for coronavirus. Now, this is the latest. Meanwhile, the South African country is reporting that the minister is saying unless we move fast, we'll soon be swamped. And South Africa is not alone. There are many other related developed countries in the same situation. The minister said that there is every indication that the flu season about to start in May will have many patients likely to flood health centers, creating the ground for coronavirus to spread if it's still on within the population by that time. Let's move on. Meanwhile, there's some good news in Nigeria. Nigeria so far have discharged 11 patients from the hospital. Patients who initially were tested positive. Now, the country's Center for Disease Control confirmed 10 new cases of the virus, bringing the total number to 184. Don't worry, Nigeria, we're beating you to it. We have 204.
You know, the
officially.
biggest city in West Africa is also under lockdown. That's Lagos.
And Lagos, with the population there, massive population. Meanwhile, Buhari's daughter reunites with family after self-isolation, and we do know that she completed a 2-week self-isolation. And the First Lady, Aisha Buhari spokesperson, Aliyu Abdullahi, in a statement said the president's daughter was normal, healthy and well. You move on, we have other related things as well. Okay. So all good news there. It's Malawi that we will focus on lastly before we go for a break. Now, it's indicating that the country has reported its first 3 confirmed cases. First 3. Now, the South African nation was among the few African countries as of yesterday yet to report coronavirus cases. Others include Lesotho, Comoros, South Sudan, Sao Tome and Principe. Now, President Peter Mutharika made the announcement in an address to the nation on Thursday, and the government officially also tweeted about this. But it speaks volumes, and we also do know that there are a lot of things that we can say. But let's look at this wise African proverb. It says, no matter how large the calf, it must kneel to suck at its mother's breast. Charlie, please, let's go up a bit and see the sucking. Okay, it's okay, it's okay, okay. It's an Igbo proverb. No matter how large the calf, you still have to bend before you suck. No matter how big you are. It speaks volumes to coronavirus and all the things that's happening. No matter how big the countries are, developed or not, you know, you still have to appease God in a way. We've all become very religious these times because of the difficulties that the world is going through. Okay. And while we wait, I have to say that it's your birthday today. Paulina Henyo, you are based in Akachi. You're the sister of my sweet friend in the UK, Romford Ifua Antoinette, as well as Lucy. All of us, we say have a blessed happy birthday. And of course, I can't forget Mensa Oklu. He also wishes you well, and your sister Celestina. But Mama, you have a last wrap up?
Yes, I do. Well, 2 things. One is to mention what the First Lady has been doing with Orca Deco. So the First Lady has launched the Rebecca Foundation Relief Boxes Challenge, expected to provide boxes of food and essential hygiene. We will show you a picture of how it looks like in terms of what she's been doing. Essential hygiene products to needy families in Accra during the lockdown. I'll tell you what's contained in this and the targets. So in the box you'd find chocolate drink, milk, sugar, biscuit, gari, rice, oil, canned tomatoes. There's also canned meat or fish, hand sanitizers and sanitary pads. And this she's doing with Orca Deco Limited. And the first is some 5,000 boxes that they're giving out. Yep. Okay, so we talked about the situation in Lagos.